You know, everybody wants to get their business booming. They want to get their business booming right where they are and globally. Well, guess what? There are books that can help you get your business booming. And I am Dr. Lotus Riche from Lotus Riche Ignites Coaching and Consulting, and I'm here to bring to you speakers, authors, and change makers that's going to help you get your business booming. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got amazing speakers like Sabrina Protic. Get her new book, Hindsight To Insight, Money Between Family and Friends, coming straight to you on this free, check it out, free webinar on books to get your business booming right here in this private Zoom room. And guess what? We're going global because we're gonna also show it on Facebook Live. So we'll see you there. Get in where you fit in and get books that get your business booming. See you on the other side. That's right. That's right. We have got our sister, our friend, Sabrina Protic. She is a financial phenom. And if you don't know her yet, you are going to be happy that you're meeting her today. Let me tell you a little bit about Sabrina Protic. She is a speaker. She's an author. And she is, I'm not going to call her a financial guru. I'm going to say that she is a financial phenom that has helped herself pull herself up from her own bootstraps so she could live the best life for the rest of her life. And today she's coming here in the studio to share with us how she's using her books, her talents, and her skills to boom her life and her business. But just not for herself, but for others around the world. And guess what? She's here today, and you are going to really, really gain a wealth of knowledge. But you can't gain the wealth of knowledge and put it into exercise. Let me make sure let me turn this page because I don't want you guys seeing my personal notes. Right? So get your notepad. Get your notepad. As I always say, and get your pen and come on in. Why? Because note takers are money makers and money makers are change makers. But you can't make no changes if you don't take no notes. And so as we get ready to prepare, I invite you, let us know where you're streaming in from. Let us know who you're tagging, because here's what we do know. Action speaks louder than words. So if you say that you care about people and you want them to thrive and have a better life and really boom in their life and in their business, then you're going to share this broadcast. You're going to share this broadcast with people that you know and care about, and even people who have presented challenges in your life, but you know they need this too. So we welcome you to share this broadcast with them as well. And again, like I said, let us know where you're coming in from, and let us know who else you want to see on this broadcast. But today, what we're going to see on this amazing broadcast is none other than the financial phenom herself, Sabrina Protic. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Let's give you maybe 30 seconds and maybe a little extra as you come in and share this. Tag. You're it. It's time to boom your business in your life and in your business, and to share this amazing books to boom your business with your friends and those you care about all around the world. So get your notepad and pen, friend, and come on in to books to boom your business. You know, everybody wants to get their business booming. They want to get their business booming right where they are and globally. Well, guess what? There are books that can help you get your business booming. And I am Dr. Lotus Riche from Lotus Riche Ignites Coaching and Consulting, and I'm here to bring to you speakers, authors, and change makers that's going to help you get your business booming. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got amazing speakers like Sabrina Protic. Get her new book, Hindsight To Insight, Money Between Family and Friends, coming straight to you on this free, check it out, free webinar on books to get your business booming right here in this private Zoom room. And guess what? We're going global because we're going to also show it on Facebook Live. So we'll see you there. Get in where you fit in and get books that get your business booming. See you on the other side. All right. Sabrina is in, and it's time for you to win, my friend, on Books to Boom and help you zoom your life and your business with Books to Boom. What's going on, Sabrina?
You know what? I love the energy and the power that you bring, Dr. Lotus Riche. If this is your first time tuning in, it shouldn't be your last time tuning in because you know how to bring it. So get in where you fit in. And today we fit in right here.
Yes. And I want to thank our friends streaming all the way in from Australia. So happy to have you here. Marae Tulakima from, of course, the greatest engineering show. She's here. And so go ahead, Marae. Go ahead and stream this over into your folks in Australia. Share this to your page. We'll be so grateful to you. And we can't wait to have you on the show, too. And, of course, we have Angela Elting all the way from Washington, D.C., doing the best, doing the most, sharing this out with all of you around the world. So, Sabrina, I want to welcome you to the show. And I'm so happy and grateful that you're here today. And I want to welcome all of you, our viewers around the world, to the show. Now, I shared earlier, Sabrina, that they should make sure they have their notepad and they have their pen because note takers are money makers and note takers are change makers. But they can't make no changes unless they exercise those notes. So they got to take some notes from you because we were just in St. Louis together, and I got to see you on the stage for the first time. And let me tell you, you rocked it. But here's the thing. The secret sizzling sauce was that nobody knew really about this powerful book that you are releasing to the world. And it's already changing lives. So yes, it is. I've told folks a little bit about you, but I want you to tell folks more about you, what you do, and let's get into this book.
Well, we're going to bring some fire. So, you know, I dedicated the book to my children. Now that's important because my whole premise for what I'm doing is to change the next generation. But as you well know, when you initiate change, it has to start at home.
Yes.
So you start with self and then you start in your warm circle, your children. And looking back over my lifetime, I realized that I had been a great mom. But I couldn't teach my children what I didn't know. I could only teach them what mama taught me. And I mentioned that in the book, my somewhat limited upbringing financially. And so I taught that to my children. It wasn't until later in life that I realized I had simply been taught how to earn income. That's it. And what do we say to our kids when they get to be 15, 16, 17? And you can almost repeat this verbatim. When you grow up, you got to get out of here and get a job. You got to get a job. And we're ringing those words into our kids' ears early. So they're thinking, I got to go make some money. But we hadn't taught them what to do with the money other than, well, you get that job. You better be able to afford your rent. You better be able to afford your car payment. Don't come back here. Right? So we teach them basically survival instincts, you know. Food rations, as I say, enough for today's food. But we don't teach them how to storehouse, you know, how to save it up. Even bears do that. You know, they hibernate, but they pack away food, right? So even animals do that. They preserve. And we've lost our edge with that. So I kind of said, you know what, Sabrina, you've got to do something to help not only yourself and your children, but the world. So I decided to write this book to lay breadcrumbs. And I tell you what, I opened myself up and I told some things, some blunders and mistakes and errors that I made, financial losses, just some plain old ridiculous decisions that I made because I didn't know any better. And I'm using those things now to teach people not only, okay, don't do what I did, but I'm teaching them how to right the wrong. I'm teaching in this book how to avoid those pitfalls, how to position themselves to reduce, number one, financial risk and exposure, and to store house for the future. You know what, Lotus? Explaining simple as a bank account. Now, how many of us have really talked to our children about a bank account? They go down there, open one up, but who's on that account? Who's a signer? Who's a beneficiary? Are there differences? And why? And why should you know that? I'm going to tell you something. Those differences could cost you greatly financially. And I tell a story about that, about someone who didn't know that. Even me, I was impacted by that, by not knowing those simple things about relationship banking. So we've got to start somewhere. And I can't hear you
because I be in the back going woo woo. But so here's what I want. Here's what I want to ask you, because I saw something when you were talking before somewhere else, and you were talking about who inspired you to write the book. And I know you dedicated the book to your children, but who inspired you to write the book? Because a lot of times our parents and people that we know, they don't tell us about financial wellness, because sometimes we haven't been taught financial wellness. And definitely school is not teaching people about financial wellness the way it should be taught. I got a master's degree, okay, in business. And in the business class, they just taught us the bare minimum, but we're paying thousands of dollars to learn about how business works. And business is finance, and finance is business. So what inspired you to write the book, and who inspired you?
Well, that's a good question. And I have to say, my publisher came to me and we talked about writing books, and she knew that I had gotten this background in finances. And she said, Sabrina, I think you should write a finance book.
Yes.
And I said, I don't know about that. I have learned some things. She says, yes, it's time to turn your story into someone else's next generation, their next journey. Mm-hmm. So that was when the seed was planted. Because there was another book I was going to write. That book's going to be coming maybe next year. But when she said that, oftentimes people see things in us we don't see. And she saw that in me. And so the minute she said that, Lotus, I started thinking about it. And before the night was over, I had started building an outline of what I want to talk about in the book. And it just grew. It just multiplied. So I want to say the seed was planted by her. Because she saw me as a person who had this lived experience.
And what's her name?
Lisa Marie Garcia. Her name is Lisa Marie Garcia.
Lisa Marie
Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa Marie Garcia, thank you.
Yeah, she came to me and asked me to do it, and I was not even thinking that way. But as I began to think about my journey, I thought, you know what, I have a lot to say about this, and it's time for me. Look, I saved myself. I utilized the principles that I write about in the book, and I saved myself, and I fixed what was broken in my household.
So hold on, wait a minute, because you just said something. And I want to challenge each of you that's viewing this. Please share this on your page. Share this to your page live, because where we're getting ready to go, Sabrina makes thousands of dollars for this type of information. And this is why we do books to boom your business, so that you can get this. So Sabrina, you said you saved yourself. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Well, I was making a lot of credit card companies happy. I probably should have owned stock in them, because I had a credit card, MasterCard, Visa, bank cards, you name it. My credit card was full. And I remember a couple people, you go pay for something, they would go, wow, you got a lot of credit cards. And I was proud, because these credit card companies gave me a credit line. And I was like, yes, that's right. I got different flavors, whatever. But I didn't realize I was going nowhere fast. I had all this debt. And the reason I had acquired it was, it's so easy. It's so easy to swipe the card. And my mindset was, I'll pay it later. I make enough money. And I did. I make enough money where I could pay it off. The problem is I never did. I never paid it off. So once I learned that I was hurting myself, I was not growing my assets, and I was giving all my money away to debt. First thing I did was get out of debt. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. That was a hard pill to swallow. To send,
Mhm.
when you go from Lotus sending a credit card company $100,
Mhm.
sending them $1,000 or
Yes.
$2,000. What
Mhm.
about $10,000? Could you write
Yes.
that check? Who's willing to write that check and send them $10,000? Who wants to do that?
So that's a good question. That's a good question for our viewers. So viewers, are you in a position first and foremost, not just do you want to do it, because some people don't want to do it because a lot of people have been taught no, you need to have a level of debt and stay in debt. Okay? But how many of you has gotten something in the mail? I wish I had some mail in here. I do. I've got some mail in here. Okay. Uh, and I opened this yesterday when it came. Right, they're offering me another credit card. Right, so that's why it looks like this. But you see the Mastercard logo up here. Right, they offered me another credit card. Right, I didn't even look to see how much the interest is on this joker. But how many of you want to take the bill that you get and write out what Sabrina said, like the $10,000 or the $500? If you want to do that, this is all about Sabrina. All right. This book's to boom your business. We're not even in Zoom today because we wanted to do it right here. How many of you are writing out $10,000 to pay off debt? How many of you are writing out $500 or even $1,000 to pay off your debt? And if you're not, this is leading somewhere. This is leading somewhere. Hopefully, I can get Sabrina to do a webinar for you guys
Yes.
just to help you. So, Sabrina.
Yes. Well, you absolutely can. People say, "Oh, I don't have that kind of money." But let me tell you something. We realized that we were spending $400 a month on breakfast.
What?
Yes, we were. My husband was spending $10 a day. Well, $12 with tip. This is before the price of eggs went up. So we did the
Uh-huh.
math. And we were spending and that was his. That wasn't even
Mhm.
mine.
Wow.
$400 a day. So you take $12 a day times
Mhm.
7 times 4, and it adds
Yes.
up. So when you say I don't have $500 I can send to the credit card company, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. Because restaurants are full. You have
Right.
to wait to get seated in restaurants. So
Yep,
the
that's true.
first thing you want to do is evaluate where are you spending your discretionary money. And I guarantee you most households can find at least $200 or more that they can take. Now you take that money and you make a credit card payment.
Yep.
Now, let's say you got 5 or 10, and just the mountain is so big. So we were, I was taught this basic, just didn't apply it. You pay
Mhm,
your
mhm, mhm.
smallest credit card off first. Okay, so
Right.
let's say you got 5, you send that extra $200, $400, $500 off. You get rid of that, then you pay your next smallest because you want to have that sense of fulfillment of paying off. Don't send an extra $100 to 5 different cards because you're never going to pay them off.
Right.
So
Right.
you want to work on one, get that one out of the way, and then do the same thing. So, yes, everyone, we all have the ability to pay extra on our credit card. So
Mhm, mhm.
so part of the book is understanding debt. And we talked about that at BTBY. Understanding debt. Because before you can eliminate it, you have to understand it.
Right.
And so we are abusing and misusing our credit cards. You made a statement, Lotus, that we need a certain amount of credit, and that's true.
Right. Mhm.
The world is built on credit scores. Can't buy a house unless you have credit. Can't
Exactly.
buy a car unless you have credit. So you get credit, but you just don't get ridiculous credit.
Mhm.
And I helped my son when he was in, my accountant told me to do this. Just tell him to go down to the jewelry store and buy
Mhm.
something, and then
Yes.
don't pay it off. Make
Mhm.
make the minimum payment, for a while, and pay it off in 6 months. And bless his heart, he went in and he bought his mother a pair of earrings. And I'm thinking,
Mhm.
well, you should have bought some for your girlfriend, but no, he bought some for mama. That made me feel good.
Yay.
He spent $100 at the time. They were $100 earrings, and that's how he got started. And but what did we teach him? We taught him to pay it off. That's what we
Right.
taught him. I did not teach him to carry that balance.
Mhm.
So that's what we want to do. So Don't trick yourself into thinking, well, I got established credit. Well, yes, you do, but you need to be responsible with that credit and make those timely payments so that you have whatever, ideally, which is what I do.
Right.
Now I still use credit cards and
Mm-hmm.
they're safer, especially when you're traveling, but
Right.
you pay it off at the end of the month.
Exactly.
So,
So
you know,
let me
you
ask you
use them.
this.
Mhm.
When most of the time people are using credit because they don't want to pay it off right away. Maybe they don't have it to pay off. So what's the difference? And I know your book is going to help people understand about the credit, understand their debt, etc. And I haven't read the book yet because I couldn't get it in time. But here's the thing: I'm going to get this book. I want an autograph copy. So, what's the difference between paying it off right away and waiting and accruing all this interest? Oh, I might have gave it
Ooh,
away.
ooh.
And waiting. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, I will. So I like to talk to people about growing their assets and growing their money.
All right.
When you are delaying paying it off, you're paying a penalty, which is an interest payment. It's a
Mm-hmm.
penalty, you know, for carrying that balance. And this is what makes credit card companies lucrative. That's why they put those cards in the mail. They're banking on you not paying it off. They don't really
Right.
want you to pay it off. They
Mm-hmm.
want you to carry the balance. And now I've seen these credit cards lately, 24%.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
with, I've seen people with an 800 credit score
Yep.
being offered a 24, 25% interest.
Yep. Yep.
It's no longer even about that anymore. They're raking in the money.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you say you come to me and say, well, Sabrina, I want to, you know, I want to grow my assets. Where can I put my money? By the way, and I have
Mm-hmm.
to say this, that everything I'm saying is for educational purposes only and not intended to be investment advice. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to be clear, educational purposes only. And
Right.
anytime somebody wants to do anything that's risky, that involves risk,
Mm-hmm.
then you have to use someone with a securities license. So that's why I say
Mm-hmm.
that. But let's say you want to do something with your money so you have
Yes.
long-term income, which is what I work on,
Mm-hmm.
setting up income for the future. Well, you can't do that if you're paying 24% interest on a credit card. Even if I say, well, I can put you into let's say a retirement product. I can put you into a retirement product where you're going to set up income for the future. You have a check coming in your household every month. And maybe that product's paying you 8% or something. But your credit card interest is 24%. You see what you just lost in that whole deal? Oh, I'm making 8% here, but you're losing 25% over there. You're not making anything. Do you see what's happening here? So we get disillusioned with debt. We don't understand. And a friend of mine, I think very highly of him. His name is Bill Haight. Bill Haight. He says debt is the killer of retirement. Debt is the killer of retirement. Now, if you're in your 30s, 20s, like you are, Dr. Riche, because you know you don't have a birthday, right? You don't have a birthday. You keep thinking, I don't even need to think about retirement. That's the problem with this country. When you're 30, you're not thinking about retirement. Well, you should be, because you got 30 years to figure it out. If
Exactly.
you're 30, you got at
Exactly.
least, let's say 20. If you're 30,
Yes.
let's say you're 20 years old. No, I'm gonna say you're 20. Use the next 30 years to grow that money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
can I tell you what I realized? Because I wasn't thinking that way. This is a big number I'm gonna throw out. May I do that?
Yes. Please.
This is probably 20 years ago. I was able to save $300 a paycheck. I had it go from my check to my bank account. It was one of those credit unions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
$300 a month. So that $300 a paycheck, and I got paid bi-weekly, which
Mm-hmm.
means I was saving $600 a month.
Yes.
If I had not touched that money, I would have $4 million right now.
What? Wow.
$4 million.
Wow.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
$600 a month, 20 years.
Yes.
I would have had $4 million, especially using the rule of 72. So there's a little rule in it. So we all can be millionaires, can't we?
Yes, we can.
But you know what I did? Every time I got $2,000 and I said, "Ooh, I got $2,000. Hey, let's go on a cruise." I took my kids on a cruise. We went to Mexico. Oh, hey, let's have a party. So every time I got, and I felt good too. I got $3,000 sitting in here. I spent it.
Yes.
Because I thought it was there for me to save and spend. I didn't realize, Sabrina, nobody told me, nobody spanked my hand. Nobody talked to me and said, don't touch it. Don't touch it. As a matter of fact, it really wasn't earning much in the credit union. But if I had put it somewhere that does earn, if I had put it into an income account that I'm talking about, $4 million or more, that's on a conservative side. The $4 million is on the conservative side.
Wow.
So
that's
yes,
awesome.
All of us can be millionaires. All of us can wealth build.
And so I want to circle back to something that you and I discussed a few weeks ago when I was talking to you about some financial stuff. I'm going to circle back to that because, and I shared this at a recent conference that I spoke at. Numbers. Average person doesn't know their numbers, and I would imagine in your book that you talk about numbers. So why are numbers so critical when it comes to, one, your credit score, how many credit cards you have, understanding your debt? Okay, because you talked about that. Why are numbers so critical?
Because we all have goalposts. We all have a milestone or something. We all work for something. Let's face it. You got children, you work to feed your family. You got rent, you're going to work to make sure the rent's paid for. You got a mortgage, you want to make sure it's paid for. So we all live in numbers every day. One of the basic questions that I ask everyone I meet with, and I ask you the same thing, Dr. Riche, is, what's your number? And it's like Greek came out of my mouth. They're like, what's my number? What do you mean, what's my number? What's your number? They said, well, what do you mean? How much I make? No. Then I'll qualify. What's your financial security number? And then they start pulling stuff out the air. I don't know. 500,000, $1 million. They have no idea why they even said it. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, I think I'd be comfortable with $1 million. Really? You do even know what that number would comprise of? And within 20 minutes, I help them find their number. Don't I?
So here's the thing. She's saying, don't I? She talking to me, y'all. And the answer is without a question. Because when I talked to Sabrina a couple of weeks ago about my number, I thought I knew my number. Excuse this, you see saliva coming out because that's just how juicy this is, okay? And if you have not shared this broadcast, what are you waiting for? If you're talking about helping yourself or helping someone else, now is the time. Now is the time. So I thought I knew my security number. I was so off base. I mean, I was so off base, it was frightening. Because without question, things are happening around the world to people all over the world when it comes to finances, when it comes to Social Security. What are you going to have left? Too many of us, Sabrina, are depending on Social Security to keep us afloat when we decide to retire, or if many of us retire at all, because I know people right now who want to retire, but they can't because they have to work to stay alive. And I mean, they are, some in their 60s and their 70s, some are past retirement age, but they still have to work. Not that working is not a great thing, because it does something for the body to keep you alive and sharp and well. But they're working because they have to, not because they desire to. And so Thank you for asking that about numbers and sharing that, because I didn't know. So here's a question I wanted to pose to our viewers. Do you know your financial security number? Do you know it? If you know it, say yes, I know it. And if you want more insight, we invite you to connect with Sabrina and myself. And if you don't know it, let's be transparent. No, I don't know my security number, and I'd like to connect with Sabrina and you and Dr. Lotus to help me with this, because this is why Books to Boom Your Business is here, as we're celebrating her book, Hindsight to Insight, because this really helps us to have 2020 vision into our numbers. So, wow, Sabrina, you see what you did?
Well, I did. May I say something about Social Security?
Please.
So, I have a license in financial services, and basically my license is to help people protect their income. But I go outside of my license in terms of knowledge and information. And and I'm glad you said, no, I'm not a guru. I would have to be doing this 20 years to be a guru. So, but I am learning as I go, and what I don't know, I'll find out. So it's all about the pursuit of information. So I'm in constant pursuit of information. So I went to a Social Security seminar and I learned a lot. And yes, most people hit a brick wall when it comes to Social Security. It's not enough.
And you're licensed in Social Security?
I'm not you can't be licensed in Social Security.
What are you licensed in?
So it's called financial services. Now, let me explain that. So financial services means that's a broad spectrum to say that you could do health insurance, life insurance, annuities. You could do stocks, mutual funds. So it's a broad. So you start, your licenses grow. You get one license and you go sit for another test. You get another license, you sit for another test. Now, there are certifications that you can get if you want to write people into Social Security. So those are certifications. Right. Those are not so much licenses. And so you can get the certifications and you can do that. Mm-hmm. So you'll have some people that's all they do is Social Security. That's it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of hard to do some disciplines at the same time because of laws.
Right.
So a person that does Social Security oftentimes may not be doing retirement plan. It's a conflict of interest. So they may not be doing retirement plans and things like that because you can't, misuse people's information, to float from one thing to another. So there are, those of us in these industries, we understand all that. You can do it. There are people I do know that they do Social Security, they do life insurance, they do all of those things. They can do it. It's like wearing two hats, but it can be done. So I went to a seminar on it to understand how it would feed into a person's long-term income. That's why I got into it. That's part of your numbers. Now, this is what I want everyone to do. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of homework. Can I do? It's very simple. If you're getting a Social Security statement, open it up, because a lot of people don't. Look at it and look at that number. It might say $1,500 a month. Take your monthly expenses that you have right now and subtract all of that from that $1,500 a month. When I say your monthly expenses, I mean lights, water bill, gas in the car, food, eating out, your rent, car insurance, everything. Subtract it from that $1,500. Now, if it's not enough now, is that going to be enough 20 years from now with inflation, or 10 years from inflation? So you're going to find out real quickly that your Social Security is not going to be able to take care of your basic needs 5, 10, 15 years from now, because it's not enough now. Most of us, like myself, I didn't look at that number as sustenance. Like, oh, hey, this is what they're going to give me when I get my Social Security check. Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking that was my only source of income.
Mm-hmm. And for some people it is.
Yes.
Because what I found out most recently, a lot of people are working and they don't have a retirement plan, like you were helping us with some other family members. And we, when we asked the question, their job went away after they worked for this place for 30 years, and they didn't have a retirement plan. So whatever money they've saved over these 30 years, that's it. That's what they've got. And so if they've got to work, and they've got to wait on Social Security, is that $1,500, if they're going to even get that, is that going to be enough?
It's not enough. And that's why they teach these classes in Social Security. That's why you have to be certified to do it. And again, a lot of financial advisors, coaches, they do Social Security and they do the other disciplines as well. Health insurance, life insurance. There's some that do it all, but it's a lot of rules in there.
Yes.
And they can do it all. So it depends on if you want to specialize or if you want to do the whole thing. But I have to understand it. And here's why. When I'm talking to people about their long-term income, first I have to educate them on how much they need. They have to know their number.
Exactly.
You don't know that number, then you have a false sense of security right now. So all those people, I hear so many people say, when I turn 62, I'm drawing my Social Security. I'm drawing it. Well, you better understand that, first of all, because you're going to get less money at 62 than you would at 65, 66, and even 70.
Exactly.
So you want to make some educated decisions.
Exactly.
Before you do that.
Exactly. So you and I were just at a conference, and there were over 36 speakers there. I wondered how many of those speakers in this one place knew their numbers, and how many of you that's joining us around the world know your numbers. We asked earlier, do you know your number? If you know your number, put an SB in the chat. If you don't know your number, put an SB. Yes, I'd like to talk to Sabrina. And I see one person that put, no, I need to find out. They need to know their number. And so earlier you saw where I put change starts with you. It does. We as a people around the world have to come out of the shadows and really step up and find out what our numbers are. And so for those of you that are just joining us, we welcome you to Books to Boom Your Business. And we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. I've got a phenomenal guest with me today, Sabrina Protic. She is going to come back, and she's going to share some tips from her book, her new book, Hindsight to Insight. Okay. She's going to share that with you. But I also want to talk about why it's so incredible to write a book, Sabrina, for people to share their insights and talk about why writing books will give people credibility, like it's giving you credibility, because I know some secret sauce, some secret sauce when it comes to credibility about this new book of yours, Hindsight to Insight. And I want to make sure we get it out. We tell the folks all about it when we come back. So we're going to take a quick break. If you have not shared this broadcast, we invite you, please share this broadcast with people all around the world so they can get some hindsight to insight in their finances and do what's right. We'll be right back.
I had the opportunity to work with Lotus Riche and her team to create a promo video for my business. And let me tell you, she and her team are pretty darn outstanding. I had recorded a video that we were going to use in the promo. And during our meeting, they actually walked me through what worked in the video, and they provided suggestions for improving the video so that I can actually capture the audience and the clients that I want and the people that need my services. They actually told me what I could add to the video and how to set the entire thing up so that when people watch that promo, they will come away knowing who I am, what I do, and why they should contact me. So if you have the chance to work with Lotus Riche and her team, you are not going to be disappointed.
Many people are trying to get in front of people on social media and don't know how because they don't know how to live stream. Well, you've come to the right place at the right time. And if you want to get noticed, you need to see Lotus. So reach out to her at www.lotusigniteyou.com. That's www.lotusigniteyou.com so that you can get in front of the people that need your services and your products today. You know, everybody wants to get their business booming. They want to get their business booming right where they are and globally. Well, guess what? There are books that can help you get your business booming. And I am Dr. Lotus Riche from Lotus Riche Ignites Coaching and Consulting, and I'm here to bring to you speakers, authors, and change makers that's going to help you get your business booming. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got amazing speakers like Sabrina Protic. Get her new book, Hindsight to Insight, Money Between Family and Friends, coming straight to you on this free, check it out, free webinar on books to get your business booming right here in this private Zoom room. And guess what? We're going global because we're going to also show it on Facebook Live. So we'll see you there. Get in where you fit in and get books that get your business booming. See you on the other side. All right. And we are back. For those of you that's just joining us, I have the phenomenal Sabrina Protic in with me today. And we're talking about her amazing book right here on Books to Boom Your Business, Hindsight to Insight. She's going to give you some insight so that you can leverage your hindsight. So we want to thank each and every one of you that's you're on board with us all around the world. We want to thank you from where you're streaming in from. So please make sure you tag and share within your network, and please don't hesitate. Go ahead and broadcast this on your pages. We see people from all over the world. We have people in from Australia, Africa, Washington, D.C. We have people from Florida, just all over the place. And we are so delighted to have you. We've got people from Paterson, New Jersey, and it's just amazing to be in this time space with you. And of course, we've got people from Kansas coming in. So we wanted to read a couple of your responses here in our chat. So I want to go first to Mireille Tulakima. She said, amazing dedication to be the next generation. It indeed starts at home. Yes, it does, without question. And Angela said, survival and thrival starts with home training. That is without question. And then amazing young lady out of Paterson, New Jersey shared, not many. I keep trying to tell my daughter she needs to open up my grandson a credit card account. Okay. So Mireille Tulakima says financial literacy is key, and yet no school teaches it. Angela said, when parents don't succeed in their finances, then they only teach the children the don'ts and not the do's because they don't know, which is so amazingly critical. Okay, so I want to go down and grab something from Mireille. She said credit cards should only be for extreme emergencies, not for everyday expenses. Okay, so I'd like to, we're going to have one more message. Hudla from Sierra de Leone is sharing this. Financial literacy involves concepts like budgeting, saving, building credit, borrowing and repaying debt, and investing. Becoming more financially literate might make major financial decisions like loans, major purchases, and investments less daunting. And LaWanda Bradford, hello. She says, hello, ladies. And let us know where you're coming in from. And so, as you know, we're here with a financial phenom. She's pulled herself up from her own bootstraps. And she's not here to give you financial training or guidance or tell you what to do, but she's here to let her book help to boom your life. Her book, Hindsight to Insight. So Sabrina, again, we're so happy to have you here. We'd love to hear a passage or two or three or four or five from your book, Hindsight to Insight.
Okay. Thank you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read a story of something that happened to me when I was a child, because money concepts start early. And then after that, I'm going to give you 4 wealth building tips. Okay.
Awesome.
Right from my book. So, because I know you want to hear those, but this is for the parents and the grandparents. I saw a few comments out there about teaching your children. So there, facts tell, stories tell, facts tell. So we don't want to be all facts, right? We want
Right.
to share stories. So think briefly about your upbringing and what you were taught about money. Did your family discuss money at all? Were you allowed to touch money? And if so, at what age did this happen? Perhaps money was scarce, and this created a sense of anxiety when the subject was mentioned. Did your mom or dad entrust you with money? I recall my mother sending me to the corner store with 25 cents to purchase a 10-cent loaf of bread. So I'm telling my age right now. The tax is more than 10 cents, but it was 10 cents then. I returned home with a loaf of bread and no change. My mother was furious, and I felt like she was angry with me. She yelled at me, making me feel like I had done something wrong. This created a fear of money early in life and an insecurity about handling it. The truth is, the store owner had cheated me due to my ignorance and had not given me the proper change back. I feared trusting people and was sure that everyone from that point on was a cheat. In my mind, you had to watch your back with your money in my community and culture. The sad part about this story is that my mother knew the store owner. She drove me back to the store, took me inside, and demanded her change back. Of course, the store owner complied and pretended it was an error. Looking back, I needed lessons, such as learning how to count money and to be accountable with money and to be comfortable with it. So you see how those habits and traits start early. And because I didn't have a sense of trust, I hoarded it. I didn't trust anybody. Everybody was a thief. And we have to teach our kids not just the don'ts, as my mother made me feel I had done something wrong, but the do's. Now, Sabrina, let's learn how to count the money and let's learn how to protect ourselves. So that's an early stage money lesson. Now I'm going to read, this won't take long, but these are the 4 tips to wealth building process. Number 1, earning money. You can't wealth build unless you earn money. This means creating a cash flow. That's the first step in wealth building. This could be getting a job or starting a business. New businesses are started every day, which is a great time to start wealth building. The pay yourself first is the principle that many business owners use in their coaching programs. So you got to establish cash. Second of all, now this is different from earning money. Remember I said earn. So earn is an active action. Next is income generation. So now you've got to generate additional income. This would be multiple streams, or what we call passive, that they're to the next level of increasing your cash flow. The more money you make, the more money you have to work with for wealth building. So you can't earn it all. It's going to require generating and having your money work for you passively. Next, I call it stashing the cash. Saving money is the next step in wealth building. We must be coachable when it comes to setting money aside. Small savings turn into big savings, and big savings turn into massive savings. Out of sight, out of mind works for some people, while others want to see their money on a regular basis. Even with debt, it may be possible to save money. The next component is putting your money to work. Growing assets and turning money into more money is called investing. There are various types of investing, some with risk and some with low risk. A broad range of money growth options should be discussed with a financial professional. Now, there are paragraphs and paragraphs after that, as we dig deeper into these examples of generating income, how to generate passive income, where to go to about growing your assets and creating your financial portfolio. So those are just some of the things that you will have to do to get to this wealth building process. I say in this book, wealth building is not just for the wealthy. Wealth building is for any and all of us, including your children. They can start now with a small savings account. Give them some chores to do around the house. Pay them for those chores and let them see how their money will grow. And when they get old enough, you go down to the bank with them and open up the proper bank account. And I say proper, there are different types of bank accounts, but it starts somewhere. And when they become of age, then they can start doing things that where their money will start working for them. They can even get involved in passive income. There's some things that 18 and up can do where their money is becoming a passive activity. But start now. I want everyone to start now doing something where their money will grow. I actually got my kids started on a coins, saving valuable coins. My daughter has a coin collection at the bank now. And when I had my book launch, I pulled out some coins that have never been touched by human hands. We got those coins back at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's a set of coins. They call them uncirculated coins, never been touched by human hands. They have great value right now. All of these things take time. You sit on those things, you don't touch them. 10 years, 20 years, now you're wealth building. So kids, you can start at home. Ask mom and dad if you could do a coin collection. Start saving rare and valuable coins. Look at some of those dates on those pennies. This is for everybody. And parents, last thing, look at where you're spending your money every month. If you're eating out every day, if you are, throwing money away on things, you'll be surprised at how that money adds up. You may actually find $1,000 a month in your family's budget. That's just being gone to waste. Like I said in my BTBY delivery, if you don't watch your money, then you become somebody's return on investment. The money that you're blowing and wasting, you're making somebody else wealthy. You are now a part of their wealth building plan. Don't feed somebody else's wealth building plan. You establish your own and retain ownership of your money and be a good steward of your money, and you'll watch your money grow and multiply. And maybe one day you'll look back and say, I want to thank Sabrina because now I have $4 million in my financial portfolio, because I could have had that too.
Yes. I love it. So listen, folks, Sabrina, I have had a wonderful time with you. For those of you that's just tuning in, or this is your first time being here, welcome back again to Books to Boom Your Wealth Business. Welcome to the first time. If this is your first time, oh my goodness, this has been amazing with you, Sabrina. You are the phenom, and I'm so happy that you were here today on Books to Boom Your Business. And for all of you that have brought people to the show, invited people, I want to thank you, because Sabrina has come with so many wonderful words of wisdom. So we want to give you a short recap. Your book is the bomb. I cannot wait to get your book in my hands, first and foremost. But today we talked about change starting with you, reducing your financial risk. And now we couldn't go over everything about finances and about in her book, but she gave so many critical keys. She saved herself, and so can you. Okay, you can do this. We talked about paying off your smallest credit cards. Okay, understanding your debt. And you can get Sabrina's book, because it's going to help you to learn how you can do that and really grow your money, grow your assets. Okay. And now we got to say this. This broadcast is for educational purposes only and not intended to provide you with financial advice, even though Sabrina is licensed in financial services. We can't tell you what to do with your money. Okay. But we can encourage you to do your homework, because money concepts start early. So you got to start early, teaching your children and teaching yourself about earning money, about creating a cash flow, about paying yourself first, about income generation, having multiple streams of income. Okay. Because, like, when we went to the conference, Sabrina, at the last minute, you jumped on a plane.
I did.
Could you have done that if you didn't have multiple streams of income coming in?
No, I couldn't. I was able to pay for that, all of my expenses, and I was able to decide at the last minute to go. I didn't have to ask an employer. I didn't have to check my bank account. I just went and paid
Yep.
for it, no credit.
Yep. And if you didn't have money saved, could you have done that?
No, no.
And
Absolutely.
here's another tip you shared. You said put your money to work, invest. If you have not put your money to work, if you didn't invest, would you have been able to jump on the plane and come?
No, no. And by the way, I leave my money alone. It's working, and I don't touch it, whether things are up or down. My money is where it needs to be, and I'm very diverse in my portfolio. And I encourage everyone to do the same thing.
I love that you share that. So what I'm hearing you say, let your money work for you. Leave it alone. Stop taking it out. Let it really
Mhm.
work. Okay? Because when you let your money work and you understand the risks of not letting your money work, you understand the risk of even where you're investing, it helps you to build your wealth for generations to come.
Exactly. And that's the whole point is don't touch it. If I had not touched that money I was saving every month, like I said, I'd have had $4 million. And that was just a savings account. So, like
Wow.
I said, I was on the conservative side. Leave your money alone. Everybody wants to, I got to have access. I need to be able to touch my money. Well, that's the problem. You've been touching it.
Touching it. Stop touching it.
Get your hands off. Keep your
Stop
hands
touching
out of the cookie jar.
That's right. And when you do touch it, make sure you record where you are spending your money. And remember that you want to circulate money. I talk about this all the time. Circulate. Why circulate? Because circulate has a boomerang effect. I learned this from Reverend Ike. Now, some of you may know Reverend Ike. You might know him, might not like him, might love him, or whatever. But here's what I know. I love strategies that work. So circulate your money when you can circulate your money and not spend. And that's a part of gratitude. And we'll do a show. We'll be talking about gratitude and money and how money does come back to you. And so with that being shared, I want to say that I got some secret sizzling sauce. Before we close this broadcast, I know something that's happening at universities, especially here in the United States, as a result of this amazing book that I'm going to share with you right here and right now. This is the book. This is the book. Hindsight to Insight. This is the book. And this is where you can get it. Okay. Get your book, Hindsight to Insight. You can get this book today. Get this book today. It's very, very inexpensive, but it's worth millions of dollars. And the reason I say that is because if you follow the simple practices, you can save millions of dollars by understanding risk, by making sure you're investing in the right places. And you can create millions. And I don't just mean money. I'm talking about in knowledge. Okay. And now I can't guarantee this, but I can say this because it depends on what you do with how you utilize this book, the Hindsight to Insight. So you can get this book today. You can go right there. And I think I've shared this. I've shared the link where you can go, and I'm going to share it again because it would not be prudent of us to not share this link. So look right down below. You can go right there to this link, and I'm going to put this on the opposite side as well so you can copy and paste this, okay, and go right to where the book is. And so for those of you that get this book, please let us know that you've gotten this book so we can send you a wonderful gift from Books to Boom Your Business. Okay. Get this book today. And so Sabrina, I've shared about hindsight to insight. I've shared a little secret sauce, but I want you to tell our viewers more about where this book is showing up and why.
I'm very excited about this. I've been asked now by several professors in well-known universities to come and speak to their finance classes utilizing the book, and they're going to make the book part of some of the teaching moments. So they will have homework based on my lecture. I also have someone in another country that is a professor, MBA, all different titles, that will now make this book part of her curriculum for her graduating students that are seeking their MBAs. So it is a great thing. I was also told by, I'm going to mention her name, Joyce Cotton. She is with PBS, WEDU and PBS, nonprofit station here. And she says, Sabrina, I see you as the next Suze Orman. The things that you're trying to do for our communities and our young people is exactly what we need. It's timely and we need it now. So we're going to be seeing more of you in our communities. And I'm just excited that I'll be speaking more on the subject matter of let's get back to basics with our families, our children, and ourselves, get our arms around our money, become good stewards, and let's teach everyone how to wealth build and how to know their number and create financial security.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And Marie is saying, amazing insight, lady. Sabrina Protic, thanks for sharing all this important knowledge. I am getting my copy of this book. And Charles Prison, I see you. Hashtag replay. Yes, put this on a replay, folks. And most importantly, put it on your pages. And don't just put her book on your bookshelf. Put her book in use in your life. So I love it. So again, Sabrina, I thank you so much. Once you go out and you go into some of these universities, we'd love to bring you back. We'd love to know what the reception was from a lot of these students who are going to be many of our next leaders around the world. And so we can't wait. We cannot wait. We cannot wait to have you back. And LaWanda Bradford says you have to give your money a mission. Put it to work. And so I challenge all of you around the world, go ahead and put your money to work for you. Grab this new wonderful book, Hindsight to Insight. And once I get my book in hand, I'm going to come back and I'm going to read an excerpt from her book and challenge you all to work with yourselves and work with me, as well as Ms. Protic, to help you change the way you are leveraging or not leveraging your money so that you can move from hindsight to insight. All right, fantastic. You're welcome. So I look forward to seeing you again, Sabrina. Thanks again for being here with us on Books to Boom Your Business. And we hope that all of you took the amazing notes that Sabrina has shared with us today. And so until we meet again, be sure to tag and tell a friend that they can move from hindsight to insight in the finances of their life. So we'll see you soon. Take care and be blessed. Thanks again, Sabrina. You know, everybody wants to get their business booming. They want to get their business booming right where they are and globally. Well, guess what? There are books that can help you get your business booming. And I am Dr. Lotus Riche from Lotus Riche Ignites Coaching and Consulting, and I'm here to bring to you speakers, authors, and change makers that's going to help you get your business booming. So come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've got amazing speakers like Sabrina Protic. Get her new book, Hindsight to Insight, Money Between Family and Friends, coming straight to you on this free, check it out, free webinar on books to get your business booming right here in this private Zoom room. And guess what? We're going global because we're going to also show it on Facebook Live. So we'll see you there. Get in where you fit in and get books that get your business booming. See you on the other side.